Welcome guys to my channel, I'm Pen on the Beat. Today's video is basically a helpful guide for JYP Bubble. I have previously made a different video explaining about the application itself, like the service in general. But in this video, I'm gonna dive more into features and what to expect when you actually subscribe to one of the artists in the application. Now, before I go ahead and dive into this, I have promised before on the channel about a giveaway, and I've showed you some of the pictures on the community section, pictures for a box full of Twice merch. I've already posted the giveaway a long time ago, I believe maybe last year if I'm not mistaken, or maybe earlier this year. So if you wish to participate for a chance to win that box full of merch, all you need to do really is enter to my account, retweet the pinned tweet I have, and there's one fun question for you, which you can find the answer for in my channel. Basically, I've asked what was my first ever Twice album, and you'll be able to find that on my channel earlier in the days. Now that we're done with announcing the giveaway, we're gonna go right ahead and talk about Bubble for JYPnation. First, we are going to talk about the two types of subscription on the app. Now, initially, there was a group pass and ticketing subscription, but officially in April 27, the group subscription will be gone and replaced by the ticketing subscription. Now, what's the difference between those two? Technically, a group pass is you get to chat on one chat with all the members of the group, while if you buy the ticketing subscription, if you buy one ticket, you get to pick one member of a group to chat with, and if you buy two, same thing, you get to pick two members, and that applies to all the group. Before, the group pass used to be only for ITZY, Twice, and Day6, but again, officially in April 27, all that will go away, and they're gonna join the rest of the other initial group where on the app, which is 2 p.m. and I forgot what was the name. I think Stray Kids. Next thing we will talk about is the message limitation. So you don't really get to spam your idol or the artist with as many messages as you may think. So you only get 3 messages as a limit, which means if the artist or the idol replied or sent a message, you only get to reply 3 more messages under that. Now that limitation will reset once the idol reply under, which means, let's say you replied in 3 messages, they replied, again you get 3 more messages, so on, so forth. So it's gonna be that way, 3 messages limitation, and reset as soon as the idol or the artist replies again. Another important topic that you may wonder about is the character limitation. So you don't really get to type a whole passage for an artist, even though you have 3 messages limitation for it. So you only get certain amount of characters depending on your subscription days. So if you are subscribed from 1 to 49 days, you only get to type 30 characters. But if you are subscribed 50 days, you get 50 characters, 77 characters. Then it goes on as 100, 150, 200, 300, 365, 400, and the highest is 500 days with 500 characters, which means roughly 2 years for you to reach that milestone. Now, if you question about the fact, what happens if you kind of cut the subscription in the middle and then you resume some other day or month or so, does that keep the days that you have been subscribed to them before? I don't have the answer for that. Another important things that we are going to discuss is what would be the difference between terminating your account and deleting the application. So if you deleted the Bubble application or you logged out of your account, you really don't lose anything, because as long as you know how to log in again into any device, literally any device, if you log in with that same account that you subscribe with, you would be just fine restoring your subscription, because everything will be just stored there under that specific account, not the device. So you need to be careful. If you terminated your account, you lose all the chat history, you lose all the subscription that you have done. So you need to know what really the difference between those two. It doesn't matter which device you log into, as long as you have that particular account, you should be on the safe side. Now, with this topic, you would ask, would I be able to pull out the history of the chat history on another device? Yes, you will. Again, as long as you have that same account, it will save all the chat history that you have for any artist that you have been chatting with. So that's a very good actually feature they have on the application itself. Now, another good questions I get to see a lot, which is about translation. There is already embedded translation on the app itself, but it's not accurate 100%. Most of the time there's literally wrong translation there, and you may get confused a lot. And so people sometimes rely on translation that goes on Bubble account, that actually on Twitter, that translates all the text messages that comes from, you know, any idol, any artist, if they have the group chat for it. There's another way to translate those messages, which I personally use. There is an app called Papago app, which is basically a translation application. What I do usually, I take a screenshot of a block of the chat, and then I go open the app and then choose that picture or screenshot that I took. Then it will detect the language and translate that for me. All I do is literally hover over what I need to know what that means, and I will pop up with that translation. Another question I've been asked a lot is, does really the idol get to tag my name and reply to me? Now, put in mind, artists, idols, they don't have the functionality of replying to you specifically. Like, they can't tag you, like click on you to reply directly to you. All they could do is tag everyone else in the chat to reply, which means that you're not alone in the chat with the idol. Literally, the idol is able to see everyone else who's subscribed to them. So when you chat and you think you're alone with them, in fact, or in reality, they actually seeing everyone else, which is opposite to what you are seeing, because you don't get to see everyone. But that doesn't mean there's no chance for them to put your name. They could literally type your name if it's easy to type, depending what language is it and how does it look like. So they could literally to type it and reply specifically to any question you may have. Now, one beautiful thing Twice Diane do is that she actually takes a screenshot of the messages without the username, and then she will post it there and then reply under it. That's a very helpful way. Like, none of the member does that. Only Diane actually get to do that. And it's so much easy to see other people messages, as well as have some context when like the members, they're trying to reply to someone else. Sometimes some of the replies, I'll be just sitting there and trying to figure what was the context for this reply to happen. So that's like one helpful thing I'm very thankful for Diane to do. The other members, they sometimes actually, as I said, just type your name if it was easy, and they'd just literally reply shortly to you. Or sometimes they would just reply without any context. You just have to figure out what was going on there. Now, you might question, we know what does it look like when we subscribe. What does it look like when they are trying to chat with us? You may wonder, do they get to see our profile picture or like maybe our status? Most likely the answer is no. Why I'm saying that is because Sana one day actually sent a screenshot of the chat where everyone else was chatting. And again, previously when there was a conversation between Chan and Janyan, Chan mentioned that there is two views, a view where you could see the rest of the member just chats, and then a view where everyone else chats is included, like us and them together. But again, put in mind that was only for the group pass, so I don't think it's gonna be any longer two views, because with the ticketing subscription, you only get to chat with that one artist. So, but there could be also a chat that they could see only their messages, and then a chat where they could see all the rest of the messages of the rest of subscribers. So as you can see from this screenshot, literally there's no profile pictures out there. It's all replaced with emojis. You can see the username and you can see the messages, but literally there's no other functionality they could play with. They can't really message us privately. This is totally, they have limitation on this service. Now, the last thing I'm going to talk about, what's going to happen really if your subscription get expired or you just cancel your subscription. Now again, you could access all the chat history you have on that account, and you can get to see all whatever recording they have dropped in the chat, any photos they have sent, and all the chat that have been dropped there in the period where you were subscribed. But once that subscription been canceled, you no longer gonna get any more messages. And then another thing you might wonder, what if I subscribe? Do I get any messages before where I never been subscribed? Like if you're a new subscriber and you're looking to get all the previous messages that have been dropped before you actually get the chance to subscribe, you won't get any of that. You only get chat history of the period you have been subscribed in with them. And again, if you terminate that account and it's completely gone, you can't get back to it again. You won't ever get back that chat history that you may have before. And yeah, that's basically all I needed to talk about. I felt this is one of the main topics that you may wonder, or main questions that you may have. If you have more questions, I encourage you to go to the FAQ section on Bubble itself. They literally answer so much, like a bunch of questions, and some of them I have found for some of you in there. Some of you have answered, like questioned me, on my previous video, and I literally found my answer either from my experience or other people's experience, or from the FAQ question. If you still want to drop a question for me, you're more than welcome to do so. Just drop it on the comment section. I'll try my best to get an answer for you. But for now, thank you guys for watching. I hope that was helpful for you, and hopefully I'll see you on the channel in another video.